be prepared. The Eclipse Portal is open, and the solar eclipse of 2026 is not just another celestial event passing quietly across the sky. This one feels different, not louder, not dramatic in an obvious way, but deeper, more precise, almost surgical. If you've felt slightly off lately, slightly more aware, slightly more restless, there's a reason. This eclipse isn't here to shake your emotions. It's here to confront your identity. The solar eclipse of 2026 marks a reset point. Not externally, internally. When the sun is partially or fully obscured, something symbolic happens within us. The light we normally rely on becomes interrupted. And when that outer light dims, the inner light has nowhere to hide. This is why eclipse portals are often described as awakening gateways, not because the sky changes, but because you do. Right now, the portal is open. And when a portal opens, energy doesn't politely knock. It rearranges, it exposes, it accelerates. The solar eclipse 2026 carries an intensity that many people won't consciously understand until weeks later. But spiritually attuned individuals are already feeling it. The pressure, the clarity, the quiet urgency. There are warning signs of spiritual awakening that show up during an eclipse like this. And if you ignore them, you don't stop the transformation. You just make it harder. One of the first warning signs is a sudden intolerance for misalignment. Things that you once tolerated begin to feel unbearable. Conversations feel shallow. Environments feel draining. Habits feel heavy. You may not be able to explain why, but something inside you refuses to shrink anymore. This isn't irritability, it's awakening. When your identity begins to evolve, your nervous system rejects what no longer fits. Another sign is clarity that feels almost uncomfortable. You might suddenly realize what you want. Not vaguely, not someday, but clearly. And clarity can feel threatening because it removes excuses. During the Solar Eclipse 2026 portal, illusions thin out. The stories you've been telling yourself lose strength. The idea that maybe later starts to feel dishonest. And that level of awareness can feel intense. Some of you are noticing increased isolation, not loneliness, isolation. You feel called to protect your energy, to step back, to observe instead of participate. This is not withdrawal, it is recalibration. When identity upgrades, the psyche demands space. The eclipse doesn't just interrupt sunlight, it interrupts old patterns of external validation. You may also feel time speeding up. Decisions that once felt optional now feel urgent. Opportunities appear unexpectedly. Conversations become turning points. The solar eclipse 2026 is not about emotional waves like a full moon. It's about directional shifts. You're being redirected. And here's the most important message. This is not random. Eclipses historically symbolize endings and beginnings happening simultaneously. But the 2026 solar eclipse carries a specific energetic tone. It's less about destruction and more about revelation. It reveals where you've outgrown your current life structure. It reveals where you've been playing smaller than your capacity. It reveals the quiet compromises that no longer align with who you are becoming. The warning sign isn't chaos. The warning sign is awareness. You might feel an impulse to change something significant, to send a message, to end something, to begin something. But here's the key: not every impulse during an eclipse is evolution. Some are fear reacting to discomfort. The difference is subtle. Fear feels frantic. Evolution feels steady, even if it's bold. If the action feels aligned with the version of you that's rising, it's awakening. If it feels like running backward to comfort, it's avoidance. During this eclipse portal, you are being asked one thing: honesty. Not rituals, not elaborate spiritual performances, just honesty. Sit with yourself long enough to hear what you've been avoiding. The Solar Eclipse 2026 magnifies truth. And truth doesn't scream. It whispers persistently until you can't ignore it. Some of you are experiencing vivid dreams. Others are feeling emotional detachment from things that once triggered you. Some are questioning career paths, relationships, even personal identities. This is not instability. This is integration. The eclipse temporarily dims the external spotlight so you can see the internal architecture. There is also a physical component to awakening during eclipses. Fatigue, restlessness, sudden bursts of motivation followed by deep reflection. Your system is processing shifts. When identity changes, energy changes. And here is where the message becomes direct. The eclipse portal does not stay open forever. The peak alignment may last minutes astronomically, but energetically the ripple lasts weeks. What you choose to focus on now expands. What you reinforce now solidifies.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe for daily cosmic insights, astrology updates, and spiritual guidance, because the universe always has a message for you.
If you spend this portal obsessing over conflict, conflict expands. If you spend it reinforcing clarity, clarity expands. This is not superstition. It's psychology amplified by symbolism. When collective attention centers on a cosmic event, meaning intensifies, and meaning directs behavior. The Solar Eclipse 2026 is inviting you to choose your trajectory consciously. You may feel like something is ending, but look closely. Is it ending, or is it evolving? The ring of light during an annular eclipse reminds us that light remains, even when partially obscured. You are not losing yourself, you are refining yourself. There will be moments during this portal where you question your own courage. Moments where staying the same feels safer than stepping forward. That hesitation is the threshold. Spiritual awakening rarely feels euphoric in the beginning. It feels destabilizing because it removes the familiar. But here's the deeper truth. This eclipse is not here to punish you. It is here to reposition you. After the portal closes, acceleration begins. This is the part most people misunderstand. They expect the transformation to happen during the eclipse itself. But the eclipse is ignition. The weeks that follow are movement. You'll notice doors opening unexpectedly, conversations aligning perfectly, old distractions losing grip. It will feel almost too aligned to be coincidence. And that's because once you decide who you are becoming, reality reorganizes around that decision. The greatest warning sign during this Solar Eclipse 2026 is ignoring your own clarity. If something inside you feels undeniably true, don't silence it. You don't need to act recklessly, but you do need to acknowledge it. Awareness without acknowledgement becomes frustration. This portal is about identity alignment. It's about stepping into a version of yourself that you've sensed for months, maybe years. The eclipse simply removes the last layer of denial. So ask yourself honestly, what feels outgrown? What feels ready? What feels inevitable? If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Not a dramatic external miracle, but an internal confirmation. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not late. You are transitioning. The Solar Eclipse 2026 spiritual awakening is less about cosmic spectacle and more about personal truth. The warning signs are subtle but undeniable. Heightened awareness, intolerance for misalignment, clarity without apology, isolation with purpose, accelerated decision-making, and a quiet inner push toward authenticity. The portal is open, and what you do with this awareness matters. Move gently. Choose intentionally, protect your energy, speak honestly, release what drains you, lean into what expands you. When the light returns fully to the sky, you will not be the same version of yourself who entered the shadow. And months from now, you'll look back at this eclipse and realize it wasn't the sky that shifted your life. It was the moment you finally stopped ignoring your own becoming. If this resonated, if you felt something shift while listening, don't brush it off. Share what you're noticing. Comment what's changing for you. Because awakening accelerates when it's acknowledged. And you are not the only one feeling this. The eclipse portal is open. The question is not whether change is happening. The question is whether you're ready to step into it. And now, as we move deeper into this eclipse portal, something even more subtle begins to surface. Because the Solar Eclipse 2026 is not just about what you are becoming, it is also about what you are no longer willing to be. There is a second layer to spiritual awakening that many people don't talk about: the discomfort of shedding. When identity upgrades, attachment protests, you may notice yourself revisiting old memories unexpectedly. Old relationships crossing your mind, old regrets resurfacing. The eclipse shadow doesn't just reveal the future, it highlights unfinished energy from the past. Some of you may feel an urge to apologize to someone. Others may feel the need to forgive someone silently. And some of you may realize that the person you need to forgive most is yourself. The Solar Eclipse 2026 portal exposes self-betrayal patterns gently but clearly. The times you stayed silent when you should have spoken. The times you said yes when your body said no. The times you convinced yourself to settle. This is not about guilt, it is about awareness. Awareness without judgment. You may also experience what feels like emotional neutrality. Things that once triggered you deeply now feel distant. When awakening begins, reactions decrease because clarity increases. You stop personalizing everything. You start observing more than absorbing. If you've felt any of these signs, if something inside you feels different, clearer, stronger, comment what you're experiencing. Because awakening multiplies when it's acknowledged. And this eclipse is not isolating you.